So I'm right in the middle of the section in reality transurfing on goals, and basically how to know that you're doing the right thing for you. And I, somebody also yesterday, I was chatting with somebody back and forth on Reddit, and about my business a little bit, how I enjoyed it, or how I knew that it was right, and why I think it was successful and everything. And I wanted to also talk a little bit about this YouTube channel. Sorry, this is the lighting of the carport outside my building. I wanted to also talk about my YouTube channel and what I've been doing on Reddit, because as I'm reading this chapter, I'm realizing again, this YouTube channel and the writing I've been doing on Reddit it falls right into the same category as my business. And I just put two and two together this morning that it's the same exact feeling for me. It's this feeling of there not being enough hours in the day because I'm so into something, and it gets me out of bed in the morning. You know, if I wake up, it's the same thing with my business. If I wake up after like 6 hours and I could justify sleeping for another couple hours, I can't, because I can't go back to sleep, because the second I remember where I'm at and what I'm doing, I want to get out of bed and go start working on it. It's an awesome feeling, and I'm not sure that I can explain how to do that for yourself. You should really get this book and start reading it. The section on goals, and I think it's called Goals and Doors, it basically described exactly how I felt about everything as I was doing it. So and how I found, okay, so with my business and my body, that's taken up all, and it was the same thing with my body, by the way. I could not wait to get out of bed to start working on it every day. When I would wake up in the morning and realize that I had had a successful day yesterday with like going to the gym, and then I would weigh myself and I'd be down a half a pound or something. I mean, this was just an intoxicatingly motivating and absorbing experience. So once my body, I'm at the same place with my body and with my business. It's like 90% done. It's so accomplished already that I don't have that feeling anymore. Like, it's not getting me out of bed anymore. Like, now it's a matter of fine tuning in both instances. Like, I know that they will both get 100% of the way where I want them to go, and they just don't require that kind of attention anymore. And it's been that way since about April of last year. April to November of last year for me kind of sucked. I had way too much time on my hands, and I was bored. I had this sense of having nothing to do with myself. You know, I couldn't get into either of those two things, and I didn't have something else that was calling me to it. And it just kind of sucked. And I just thought about this before I made this video. It was November 30th this year, because it was the weekend after Thanksgiving. The prior I had a breakup 6 weeks earlier, dealing with that, and that kind of led me to the point where I started delving back into this creation stuff that had been about a 15-year break for me. And I was watching Joseph Rodriguez, which led me to seeing a video with Joseph Rodriguez and Joseph Ally. And when I listened to Joseph Ally talk, he incidentally mentioned some things that he had created in a way that I have also used to create. And so I started watching all of his videos, which so many of them are about manifesting a specific person, which I'm just like, okay, I don't know. It didn't really grab me all that much, because I didn't really have a specific person that I wanted. But I was lying on my couch on November 30th, which was a Sunday night, and I was feeling absolutely miserable. I was lonely. I was bored. There was just nothing. I was just laying there like, man, Sunday nights are awful. Because like, I don't have a big work day on Sunday. I was just like, man, Sundays suck. Like, this is the worst day of the week for me for this. And I started thinking about World of Warcraft. Don't click off my video right now if you're not a gamer. But when World of Warcraft came out in 2007, my childhood friend, or whenever it came out, I got it in 2006. My friend from childhood that I used to play Oregon Trail with on the Apple IIc sent me a copy of this game and then called me and was talking me through it. I wasn't at all interested in it until I saw what it was. You know, it was the first time I had ever been in like a virtual world. And it was just like being somewhere else for me, which was so weird. And it just amazed me. I remember being like, is that another person? Like, you know, some other character was running around in front of us. I'm like, is that like another person like us? Like, the idea just blew my mind. I mean, that there was nothing like it until then. And I got so into that game for like 60 days after I got it. I did nothing but play it. I mean, when the game would go down for maintenance on Tuesday mornings, it was like the worst time of the week for me. I was so bored. I'm just like trying to log in over and over, hoping it's back up. And this was an amazing thing. It was like, it was so cool. And I'm laying there on my couch this year, and I thought, oh man, I wish I could have another experience like that. That's what I need. I want something to be engrossed in the way that I was with World of Warcraft when I first got it. And I thought, you know, I was watching Joseph L. I was watching Joseph Rodriguez. I have my own experience to reflect on, and I thought, why don't I just create that? And so I did. November 30th, I put it out there. Okay, I know exactly what I want. I want another World of Warcraft type experience. The next day, I decided I was going to Google Joseph Ally and Reddit and just see if he was on Reddit, see if anybody was talking about him, because I'm a Redditor from the way back. Like, I'm a Redditor from when Reddit was first a thing. So, the first return was the Neville Goddard subreddit, and I went down a rabbit hole with the Neville Goddard subreddit like I've never gone down in my life. It was a bigger thing than World of Warcraft for me, for sure. Probably for 30 days, all I did was read posts on that subreddit. I went back through the archives. I bet I've read every post on that subreddit that had like over 75 upvotes. I did nothing but read and order Neville Goddard's entire everything I could find and read everything of Neville Goddard. So, I mean, okay, so I created that in one day. We'll just gloss right past that and move right along to this YouTube channel, because this YouTube channel and the writing I started to do on Neville Goddard feels very much to me like my business. And one of the aspects of that is this feeling like I'm doing the right thing. There's just this overall, like, everything is in synergy. Everything is in alignment. There's no part of my involvement with any of this that feels like it's wrong. Reality Transurfing talks about how there's a difference between inhibitions and the inner tension that you feel when you're doing the wrong thing. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that, because when I first started this YouTube channel, or when I first made a video, I had no intention whatsoever of creating a YouTube channel. None. That thought had not even crossed my mind. And when I put the video up, I did it just because I didn't want to write a huge wall of text about the first thing that I talked about on here. And then the video got a ton of views, and I got a whole bunch of subscribers overnight. And so I thought, oh, okay, like, this is cool. I like making videos. Maybe I'll like start talking on YouTube. But I felt what is clearly now in retrospect, a lot of inhibition about it, because I'm somebody who's always tried to fly under the radar. Nothing that I own can really, without a lot of effort, nothing I own can be traced to me. Everything is in other, business names and trusts and stuff. My name is in no way associated with the address where I live. I've just always done this probably from a place of fear somewhere deep down there. It just seemed like a smart thing to do. But I've enjoyed my anonymity greatly. And you just really can't have a YouTube channel and still feel anonymous. And so I had I took my channel down a couple of times. And each time I did that, I felt a sense of relief. But then within a day, somebody emailed me, or I calmed down a little, and somebody would email me and say, hey, where did your channel go? I was loving it. It was really helping me. Or I wanted to share this with somebody who I think it would really resonate with. And so each time I felt a big urge to just put it back up and keep going. And now it's to the point where I don't have any of those feelings anymore, any of those original feelings of inhibition. So just because you do something and you have some initial, especially if it feels like fear, I think it pays to not necessarily assume that just because you're feeling an inhibition or fear that it's the wrong thing. But so this YouTube channel and the writing on Neville Goddard on that subreddit and on my own subreddit now, and probably eventually other places, I can tell that I'm doing the right thing for me. It just, the way it feels is just like, just a feeling of no resistance at all, especially at this point. I worried a lot about, I'm not a teacher. First of all, I'm an awful teacher. Whenever I get a new employee at my business, I have other employees train the employee because I'm that bad. Right? That's my perception. So it's not like you know what I mean? I question my value here, doing this, a lot. Do I have anything of value to say? I don't feel like, I'm not a teacher. Other people, I think, in this genre are maybe capitalizing a little bit off of being teachers, which is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I don't know. My intentions towards YouTube and everything I write online is extremely pure. I don't have any designs on, there's not a financial or an ego stroking component of this for me. It's just a draw. It's a magnetic pull that I feel towards doing this. And I've come to the conclusion recently that despite the fact that this is just kind of like a field report, essentially, some things I know about and I will speak about authoritatively. I don't say anything in that manner on here that I don't know from personal experience, but I think that what I'm doing is providing the right thing to the right people at the right time, and that's outside of me. That's where the divine order and the outer intention, that's where that comes into play. I don't have any input into who sees this or where they are in their life, all that stuff. But I feel pretty certain that this is reaching the right people at the right time, and that it's doing something for someone. And it felt very much the same with my business. It felt like something I knew about, something that I liked, something that was rewarding me the way it needed to. Just the feeling from this channel and from the writing that I get when people tell me like this helped me, that's all I care about. Like, I love that. That's amazing. If watching my process helps somebody else recognize something in their own process, that's fucking awesome. Like, so that's the reward for me from this, is feeling like, maybe somebody else can learn from something. Like, I'm trying to talk about the dumb things I'm doing, or the things that I'm thinking that are wrong, because I'm 40. Maybe somebody who is 22 will see this and avoid 18 years of operating with some faulty thing that, you know what I mean? Like, this is, it's amazing. That idea is amazing to me. If my pain can serve a purpose, if what I've gone through pain-wise can serve a purpose, that's the only way that it's valuable. So, yeah, back to my business, it's the same thing with that. You know, I've tried to provide value to people. I've tried to provide good stuff, and, you know, just hope that I've actually intended often that the things that people buy from me, you know, reach the right people, to give them pleasure in their life, to provide a fun experience, that kind of thing. And, you know, thinking about my business, money was a driving force for sure. It's just, if I knew that the effort I put in was going to bring back so much more. And so I just couldn't, it just got me out of bed every day. I wanted to work on it. And it's kind of the same thing with this channel and all this reading and everything. It's like every hour that I put into this returns such a huge boon of good things. I don't know, that's the feeling for me. And there's just a sense of knowing that I'm doing the right thing. And it's really difficult to try to tell somebody else how to figure out what that is in their life. You know, I think you just have to kind of do some soul searching about what it is that you want the most, and what kind of lifestyle you want, what kind of lifestyle you really want. You know, everybody kind of thinks, I think at some point when they haven't really thought about this, they think, I want $10 million, I want to not have a job. You know what? You might actually not enjoy not having a job, and you might very much hate being an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur is no joke. It's way more work than having a job. Way more work, way more responsibility. You have to be way more of a self-starter. Like, if it's not something that you want very much, you know, I wrote a paper in like my senior year of high school saying that I was gonna be an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? Like, this is something that's been around for me for a long, long time. It's just, owning your own business might not be what's gonna make you happy. And I think if you think about it and you listen to your feelings when you're thinking about it, you can start to guide, you know, you can start to navigate towards what the right thing is. Because you're going to have a little inkling of a feeling about things as you think about them. You know, maybe the idea of having a job doesn't appeal to you because all the jobs you've had have sucked. But, you know, that doesn't have to be the case. Being employed might be the thing that makes you the happiest. I don't know. So again, I hope that something in here reached the right person at the right time, and have a great day.